Cannabonsai ka Cannabonsai寻说之后有你心 Cannabonsai ka Bonsai.
Hello and welcome to the Cannabonsai show, brought to you by Mars Hydro and Mephisto Genetics. I'd like to thank both of them. They allowed me to take time off work to make all this content and bring it to you guys. Mars Hydro also provides this 2x2 tent and the FC3000, which is a little bit of overkill for a 2x2 tent. Normally that one would go in a 3x3. But the nice thing is I can tone it down, and I usually have it at like 60-70%. And the Cannabonsai seem to like that a lot. And Mephisto, we got an affiliate program with them. So if you go and buy seeds, you get 10% off if you use my code Cannabonsai. And we're also having a grow off. So there's going to be prizes. We want the community to join us and grow their own Cannabonsai. Use my videos as like inspiration, but then kind of do your own thing with it. So I'm really excited to see what people do. So I'm very excited to announce the Mephisto Cannabonsai Grow Off. It's going to be a competition that started June 1st and it's going to end October 1st. So anywhere in that time, you can start a Cannabonsai and you got to submit 3 pictures to the subreddit, our meth heads, or to the Discord. I have them both linked on my website, cannabonsai.org, if you want to check that out. There's going to be 3 categories. The first one is best design. So we're going to take a look at how you shaped the plant. And so just most aesthetically pleasing, trying to stick to some bonsai techniques, but if you go like in another direction and it still looks good, then kudos and you might win. But usually sticking to bonsai techniques will give you the good aesthetics, so maybe that's a good starting point. And then the second prize will go for the best report. So if you were like diligent on like dropping pictures, recording all the process, kind of showing your work, so all the nerds, I guess, have a chance to win, even if your Cannabonsai doesn't do that great. And the third category is unique training techniques. So you've seen all the techniques that I use, like for example, my long root technique container, the way I shape using wire. We're looking for something that I don't know what we're looking for because it's something that's unique and something that I don't do. So I'm really excited to seeing what everyone does with that. Today I am trying something a little different and I'm excited to show you guys that. But first, I just want to show you this Cannabonsai. So this actually should have been harvested last week. It's not very thirsty anymore, and that usually lets me know that it's done. I checked the trichomes and a little more amber than I'd like, but the thing about my plants is I don't really grow them to smoke. Like I have large plants that I grow at my friend's place. Like me and him kind of work together to grow some large plants. And these are more like for the looks, for content, obviously. It's become a bit of a job. But all that said, I like to keep them alive a little longer than traditionally is done. I have it on display right now at the New Amsterdam Cafe in Vancouver, BC. So if you want to check it out and you're in Vancouver, pop in there. I'll have this plant and I'll have 2 other plants on display there as well. I'm probably going to harvest it in a week. And by then it'll have yellowed a bit more. Part of that'll be fade, and some of that it's just because it's kind of past its prime and it's just slowly dying now. Just kind of sad, but So should I talk about it? Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. So I like this plant a lot because this was my first time growing in Coco, which is a lot different than soil. So the soil holds nutrients, has nutrients in it, where Coco coir has no nutrients in it, so you have to be like really dialed in to what the plant is taking in. So there's a lot of lessons learned. Like I said, this is my first one. And normally when you're growing in cocoa, you're growing in like a 5-gallon pot or 3-gallon. You're not using, like, this is probably equivalent to a solo cup. So not only did I have to dial back the nutrients, but I kind of have to find new ratios so it took a little bit of fine tuning. Early on, I got some nutrient burn, like serious nutrient burn, not just the tips. And I had to flush it for a few weeks, and then I kind of found the sweet spot, and it was like at like half nutrients, and I was giving it water like for like every other day, so it wasn't just nutrients, it was like, I guess, diluted nutrients. But yes, I have a second one started now, and I'm going to take all the lessons that I've learned, and I'm going to really dial back the nutrients to the point where maybe I'll get some deficiencies this time, and I'll slowly find that sweet spot. I'm hoping to get it really dialed in, because you can get a lot of really good stretch and healthy plants growing in cocoa, and you don't need a lot. You just have to water often, which is a little annoying, but it's okay because I have to water all the plants often. So it was an S bend, but it actually had an extra kind of bend down here through the roots. So you can see the S is this way, but then there's also another kind of extra bend there. I really like how the roots spilled around the rock, and the rock kind of looks like a skull. I don't know if you guys see that. That wasn't intentional at all, but really cool unintended effect. I'm very happy with that. The buds are feeling pretty dense, which is really good, even the lower ones. I slanted it this way, so it's been getting a nice, like, even amount of light its whole life. And that's about it. That's all I have to say about it. I'm really happy how the buds actually frame the rock as well. And you can see all the root work and the rock. And it smells great. It's kind of grapefruity. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the other plant. Okay, so this is the special surprise, I guess, or the experiment that I was telling you about. So normally I start my plants in a long root technique, and that's how I get the long roots to put on the rocks. It helps me have like roots to work with. But this plant I had in a deep water culture bucket. So it's hydroponic, so it makes bubbles and it's in nutrient-filled water. And I have this on my balcony, so I was going to try an outdoor deep water culture grow. The problem was I got a little excited and I put it out a little early, and we had some really cold weather, and this has already started flowering, and I'm not super excited about that, so I'm going to try again. I've had it out there for 2 weeks or a week and a half, so it's not a huge loss. I already have another one started. This is Mephisto's fugue state, or fugue state. I also have a Cannabonsai that I've started that is the same genetic. I wanted to have a large one and a small one, but I guess now I'm going to have like 2 small ones. But so it's actually stretched quite a bit, so I was thinking I was going to get some wire on it now and start the shaping. So because it's flowered early, right, like I said, the shock from the cold made it flower early, and that means that it's not going to get that much stretch. And I kind of really want a larger plant out there. It's usually pretty sunny and hot here, so, and if I'm gonna have it in a deep water culture bucket, I want it to, I just want it to be the best plant that it can be. So I've made a coil here with Actually, let's switch to close-up mode. Okay, so now we have it on. I'm gonna give it an S bend. There we go. And I'm also gonna remove some of all of these clay balls from the roots. Okay, so what I was thinking is I kind of want to use 2 rocks for this one and kind of have it clotheslined between the 2 rocks. Oh, I think I need to create a bit of a base here first, so that I can sit on it. I'm actually going to put a temporary rock in here because I don't want those roots growing downwards. Hopefully I can remove it early on. Okay, I think I need to wet the soil a little bit. Alright, so I got a little care package from Mephisto. They sent me a bunch of seeds. So they sent the Sasquatch OG, which is probably my favorite strain of theirs. It has really nice stretch. This Coco Bonsai is actually a Sasquatch OG. And so is my other one that I'll show you guys a little later. They sent me their new one, the Strawberry Nuggets, which I'm like really excited to try out. So that's the one that I'm going to be growing for the grow off, I guess. The thing is, it's like I start these so often, I don't know if any of these, like I'm not entering the grow off, but I kind of want to have one going while the people are entering there so we can kind of all grow together. They sent me the Appetizer, which is I guess one of their newer ones, and the Mephistorios, which is another new one. They're like experimental ones. And I got a freebie, which is a cross between Strawberry Nuggets and Northern Cheese Haze. So yeah, I look forward to growing all of these right now, but unfortunately I can't start all of them at the same time. And like I said, I'm going to do the Strawberry Nuggets right now. So I'm going to use my long root technique so I can get some nice long roots to work with. And I use this container and this PVC pipe, which I've cut in half and I can open and close so I can take it out later. And I kind of have this like pretty much almost to the bottom. I don't like to have it too high because then it tips over and the roots break. So like, yeah, like not right to the bottom, but just leaving a little bit of space there. So yeah, so we're gonna be growing strawberry nuggets. There we go, and now that's ready for the grow tent. All right, so this one is looking incredible. I'm very happy with the shaping and the size. This also is a Sam Squatch OG. And this is what I mean when I'm talking about its stretch. It's got a lot of it. So normally I keep the center part open, but this time I decided to let some branches grow in there so it looks a little more full. I have that triangle shape that I'm going for, so there really isn't much shaping left to do. I'm just gonna maybe take some older leaves off. But even then, I kind of don't want to do that too much because it's still using them for photosynthesis. Yeah, so I guess this plant is more of just like a check-in. I'm not, I don't need to really do any work on it. So this one, what I did is I had the rock and then I put the roots on top of the rock, and then I had the main trunk going under it and up. But what it's done is it's like pulled the rock to the side, so now it's kind of like a jumbled up bunch of roots, and then the trunk goes up and down. I guess I can show you. So all of these roots used to be on top of the rock, but as the main trunk has grown, it's kind of pulled them off the top of the rock and down the side. I can even remove the rock. So the main trunk went down and up there. Oh, no. And yeah, these roots were more on top, but they just got pulled off. But I don't know, I kind of like how it looks anyways. I don't know if I put the rock on the right way, but it's got a neat look to it, so I'm not mad. Okay, so this is our other Coco Coir Cannabonsai. This one is Mango Smile by Mephisto Genetics, obviously. And yeah, so this is the one I was saying that I have a second chance on. So all the nutrients that I've been given it are just below half of what the other Coco Coir Cannabonsai had. And I also have it on in one of those like really extra small containers that's equivalent to a solo cup. Off camera, I gave this its first bend, so it was getting some stretch, and I didn't want to wait till I was going to do this filming, so I just quickly gave it a bend, filmed it, so you should be seeing it right now. And today I'm going to give it another bend because it's stretching, and yeah, so I guess the theme for this show is S-bend Cannabonsais. There we go. I got a nice S-bend, and yeah, it's looking very healthy. I'm very happy with this plant so far, and yeah, excited to see how much more stretch it gets. All right, our next Cannabonsai is the one that I had the stem going down and then the roots came up and then over the rock. I exposed a little bit more of the roots, so you should see that on camera. And I also exposed some of the roots back here. This one is also well into flowering, so that means that it's not going to stretch anymore. So all of my shaping for this one is done. Again, it's got that really nice downward flow of a semi-cascade. I really like that kind of windswept look, and it's on the side of a cliff, which makes it like even cooler to have that windswept look. There's one leaf down here that I want to take off because it's pretty yellow and not doing much. But other than that, I'm not gonna take too much else off. All these bigger leaves are not covering any growth below them, and I want them to be able to make as much photosynthesis as possible. Okay, so this is the fugue state that we transplanted last week on camera, and it hasn't stretched much. I think the transplant shocked it a lot, and it's actually started flowering, which I'm not super happy about, but we'll just go with it. My plan for this one is it has like a nice long stem here, so I kind of want it growing like a normal cannabis plant, but just to the side, and it's gonna, hopefully this trunk really thickens up. But we'll see how much more stretch I get. The Mephisto genetics are amazing, so I know I'm gonna get some good stretch even though it's already started flowering. So again, this is part of it. It's very normal to have it flower early. It's a lot of shock that we're putting these plants through. This one actually flowered a little earlier than I thought, but I was still able to do a lot of really good shaping on it. So it's not always that bad. The Sam Squatch OG, that one didn't flower early, and as you can see, you get a really nice full looking plant. But those come with their own problems, right? Because they get so big and they have such a small amount of soil, you've got to be really on it with the feedings. Those ones tend to have more deficiencies, and to the point where it's like you can't even really have no deficiencies because it's such a small amount of soil. So I keep them as healthy as possible, but don't be too hard on yourselves if you have a little bit of yellowing. Extreme deficiencies and toxicities, that's another thing. Those are really bad, and you want to avoid those at all costs. But other than that, you should be fine with a bit. It's just, like I said, part of the game. Okay, and here's our final bonsai. So this is the one where the trunk is growing up straight. I didn't manipulate the trunk or bend it in any way, but all the branches, which would normally grow out and up a bit, I'm actually getting them to grow the opposite way and just grow downwards. It also has a little bit of mutation, so the growth pattern isn't a traditional one, and some of the anchors that I put in, it's outgrown, so I'm going to redo them with some rope, and hopefully I can get more pull down than I have. So first thing I'm going to do is just take out all the wire. So yeah, like I said, we're going to remove all the wires first. Okay, so I'm also going to get rid of some like leaves that are growing on the inside. And I'm also going to clean up some of the branches. So that you can really see them growing downwards. Okay, so remember the photo period kind of bonsai that I had? Some bad news, it ended up being a male, so that means that it's going to create pollen and pollinate my plants and anyone else's plants around the area. So I have to kill it ASAP. And I did that off camera. Well, not off camera, but I filmed that earlier, so you should be watching that now. Or yeah, it's very unfortunate. I was having a lot of fun growing this photo period plant. Um, but also I'm inspired now, so I can also do it again. I do have some feminized photo period seeds. The seed of this one was originally an autoflower feminized seed. So I thought when it ended up being a photo period that it would also be feminized. But that's not the case. So take the little tree house back. It's worked really hard to make it, and I like using it on. I'm going to use it on other Cannabonsais. And I also like to recycle my wire work, so I'm going to grab all the wire that I used so that I can use it in another grow. So the roots didn't really do much. I was kind of hoping they would spill down. As you can see, there's some roots up here, and like that they would all just kind of be pressed up against the rock, but that didn't really happen. Thank you for tuning in to the Cannabonsai show. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it if you think they'd be into this. Welcome to all my German friends. Just to let you know, my discount code for Mephisto Genetics works on the European website. So Mephisto has some genetics out there. They might be sold out by now, actually. They sell out pretty quick, but just keep that in mind. Anything else? Yeah, Mars Hydro, thanks for them. I also get a small discount if you use my discount code Cannabonsai. And yeah, thank you for everything. Make sure to check out my website for more details on the grow along / grow competition. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Thanks again, and next week we'll be back.